Ready?
Ready. Ooh, your webcam went upwards then.
I can't do it again. I can't make it do it again. These bloody cheap. There you go. Knockoff webcams. Mate, they're no Canon. I'll tell you that.
Knockoff. It's not even you I'm seeing. It's like an impression of you.
Thanks.
Drawn by the webcam.
Probably for the best, yeah. Okay, ready? Dead air?
Yeah.
Interesting things said by uninteresting people. You're hosted by Ben and Tom. Interesting things said by uninteresting people.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Interesting Things Said by Uninteresting People, where we talk about interesting things so that you don't have to. My name's Ben, and as always, I am joined by the far more fungible half of the podcast, Tom. How are you,
Hello.
mate?
I'm good. I don't know what fungible means.
No,
Like a
mate.
non-fungible token.
I know what a non-fungible token is, but I'm not going to sit here and explain it. That's for my secondary podcast.
No, yeah, if you were here for that, please shoo away.
Leave now. 10 seconds into the episode.
Avoid disappointment.
See you later. Oh man, that is mental though. I don't know anything about what's going on with that. But do you have any opinions?
I don't know enough to say, so I'll keep my uninformed mouth shut.
The only thing that I did hear, I do genuinely, I do want to do some more reading about these crypto pieces of art, you know, because apparently they are horrendously bad for the environment. Now, I say that unqualified because I don't really know what's the science behind it, but apparently the amount of energy it takes to encrypt and to recreate them is not very good for the dolphins and the ice caps. But but there you go. Why not start with something that that we know absolutely nothing about?
Start with a confusing thing that Randy's probably like, what on earth?
Have I tuned into the right podcast? I mean, I'm used to hearing a pair of idiots, but this time they sound like real idiots.
He'll be driving his car and he'll be driving it off a cliff. This is crap.
Oh, Tom, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, really good, thank you. How's Ben?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. What can I say? Busy with very uninteresting. I mean, ironically, stuff that would be ideal for a podcast about uninteresting things. But yeah, man. Now life's good. It's cool. What can I say? We've got our roadmap now, haven't we? To eject us from lockdown.
From lockdown,
sometime in the next 6 months.
We were just talking about how it'd be nice to do the podcast face to face again because we've been Zooming it for the best part of a year now, maybe longer.
Yeah, mate, it must be around that sort of time. And to be honest, I've grown kind of comfortable with it because it means that I can maintain my distance from you without having to be in the same room. You know,
the smelly breath.
It's all this, mate.
The bad general smell.
Just the smelly breath in particular and the bad general smell.
Just the horrid vibe you bring into the house.
It's the evil energy. Dude, it's the fact that I can't, I don't look so good under those film quality studio lights either. So, it means it takes me at least another half an hour to put another layer of foundation on my face.
Yeah, get rid of that shine.
Oh, damn it. I'm looking particularly shiny today as well. Anyway, moving on. We've got some semi-interesting things. Although I feel like on the kind of preliminary run-through that we did of what do we have to talk about, it's more stuff that we're just either angry, frustrated, or scared about. Which, I don't know. If you're into that, great. If not, just sorry, I guess.
Sorry. So this one's going to be a bit of an earworm in the wrong way.
In the wrong way, yeah. That's not cool, mate. Get down the old earworm tunnel. I know this is more particularly affecting you, and I don't know, if you want to mention how directly this affects you, but that 1% NHS pay increase is well. What do you want? How would you describe it?
Well, I guess for our international listeners, if we have any, the NHS has only been given a 1% pay increase. NHS has pretty much delivered us out of the COVID situation. And they're only getting a 1% pay increase. And what's inflation rate, Ben? Like 1.5%, 2%?
I think it's lower, but it's not far off. It's around 1%.
Yeah. So in a roundabout way, despite their pay going up, the pay isn't going up enough for them to stay in line with inflation. So in a way, they're getting a pay cut, and that is pretty evil, isn't it?
Dog shit.
That
I would say.
Dog shit. Yeah, dog shit. So all those people that put their lives on the line and, you know, helped as, you know, frontline workers and all that bollocks have been, you know, effectively slapped in the face by the old government and said, you know what? And they said they don't have enough money for it, but they do have enough money for to give Dominic Cummings an extra 40% to spend however much on a bullying claim, like for Priti Patel. You know, there's the classic them and us, and that's just how it feels. But
I don't want to jump in here, but I also, just because I don't know whether I showed this to you at the time, and I won't go into too much depth about this now, but I'll link it in the description if people are interested. And if you're at all interested in this, it is worth reading. It's a bit of a long Twitter thread, but it's about it's a reasoned argument why the national debt doesn't matter, and why the government can literally just create as much money as they want without it having an ill effect, and it addresses the idea of hyperinflation. It addresses this is more targeted to the people listening to this who specifically might want to hear it. So bear with me if you're not interested in this. But it's basically, the bottom line is the Bank of England can't refuse to pay the government or lend the government whatever it wants. So the government has got a magic money tree. It can pull more. And the best way to describe it is that anything in the national debt is money that the government just hasn't claimed back as tax yet. Right. So it's healthy to have national debt. It's like the motor that pushes the economy around to a certain extent.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
So the fact that they're saying, we've got no money to pay into the health service, I don't buy it. I really don't buy it.
Yeah, man. And the problem is, like, I don't pretend to understand about the ins and outs of monetary, but if, like, the NHS is the closest we've got to a statewide religion, right? Everyone loves it. There's very few people that dislike the NHS. And if you're from abroad, the one thing you probably know about England is, they have the NHS. Yeah. They rave about it all the time.
And at worst, people might criticise it and say, I wish it was better. But you're right. It's never, I wish we didn't have it.
No, that's never the case. And, you know, the second you fall ill here, everyone's always very thankful we have it. But the second it comes to saying thank you or pouring money into it, the government's like, oh no, we don't have the money for that. And I agree, they must have spent a lot more money on it this year because of COVID. Of course they have. But, you know, what's an extra 1%?
Yeah.
It's mental and stinks of corruption. But like I said, I don't want to sit here and pretend I know all about it, because I don't. But
no, sure.
It's such a bullshit thing. Like, you know, throw them a bone. They've been through the absolute ringer this year.
Yeah. Well, dude, and also talking about, you know, with respect to it being this year, what sickens me a little bit more about it is that back when everyone was clapping for the NHS, there were the kind of, you know, the killjoys, the minority killjoy voices who were saying, actually, we probably should just be funding the NHS. You know, the clapping is nice, but we should be, you know, those weirdo people who weren't getting on board with it, you know, who weren't just walking out onto the front doorstep every week, like, you know, mindlessly to get the clap on. The people who said, maybe we should put more money into this. It's that kind of, that doom prediction, you know, where you come to it a few months down the line and inevitably you think, oh shit, we probably should have funded the NHS more. We probably should be putting more money into the staff in the NHS, let alone resources.
The best thing I saw to sum it up was, I hope the nurses that saved the Prime Minister's life enjoy their extra cup of coffee a week. That was it. That was like, and it really does sum it up, doesn't it? It's like, I think the nurses get £3.50 extra a week.
Yeah.
That's the limit of it. So it's like £20 a month. Like, what are you even going to do with that?
I know.
It's mental.
It's almost more of a slap in the face than no pay rise at all.
Exactly. Because sometimes I think that
it's saying, here you go, be grateful for that.
It's like when someone asks you for a favour, like, I'll give you some money. It's like, you know, don't worry about it, because it's like, it's my, you know,
sure, yeah.
But, you know, if someone's like, oh, can you come pick this up and drop it at the dump and I'll give you like £5, it's like, well, don't worry about the £5. It's stupid. I'll just do it for free and whatever.
But on the other hand, mate, if you did that and then they went, oh, here you go, here's 50p, you'd be like, what? I feel more insulted now.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Because
like, you show me what you think my time is worth. I was happy to give you my time for free.
Yeah.
But I thought you thought it was worth more than that.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's awful. Again, to dwell on it is useless in our current situation, but it's shit, innit? It's a bit shit.
Yeah, no, it's no good, man. It's no good. You would think that we could find at least a little bit more to support the people, but then again, though, this is the other problem that I have with it is the way that it's already starting to be spun. It almost spins itself with the way that people have been spoken to in the last few months, which is you get plenty of people out there, and again, some of these are the poorest people out there saying, "Well, we've all had it hard."
Yeah,
we've all had it hard. Why a 1% increase? I've lost my job. I've been on furlough for the best part of a year, or I've had to change jobs. So there's that rhetoric of, well, if I haven't got, or more realistically, rhetoric from people, higher ups saying you shouldn't have a problem with this. You should think that it's fair that that hey, we've given them some extra money while most of us are really struggling, and that's not how it works in the slightest. Like you say, there's money for other things.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of money where they want to put it, but just not where they don't want to put it.
Oh, happy days, mate. What a happy start. Happy start.
A nice way to start the podcast.
Dude, do you want to talk about something else happy as well? Because we're recording this on a Monday when the interview with Harry and Meghan has been aired in America.
And we haven't seen it yet.
It's about to be aired in the UK.
Yeah.
What do you make of the hearings from that?
It's tough to say. My understanding of the royal family has been extended thanks to the Crown on Netflix, and I'm sure a lot of people have watched it. But in a way, that family is kind of run like a the mafia. Like, you can do this, you can't do that, but I guess like a legal one in a way, like. And you, from watching that, you understand all the limitations and the horrors that royalty can bring, and the good sides and the downsides. So I'll be really interested to hear. The only thing I would say is that I know Prince Harry's never liked the media. Whenever they talk to him, he's like, "Go away," or he doesn't like them. Even when he was a soldier, they go out there and see him, and he's like, "What are you doing here? You're bringing more attention to me," like all this sort of stuff. But then that's part of being a royal. Like, if you're born into a hugely influential family like that, it comes with the territory, doesn't it? And it's I think it would be naive to think it doesn't, but it's also noble to try and break away from it. I don't know, man. I'm so in two minds. I don't know. I'll look forward to the interview.
I think I've got some thoughts about it. I think because a lot of the time, the way that it's described in the British media is that they're looking for the quiet life. They're looking to escape the media, and I can't help but thinking, no, they're just looking to avoid you twats. You look at the way they treat his wife. Compared to Kate, you have all your endless articles on comparisons about the same events happening to two separate people and how they're described with one and the other. And I mean, you'd be hard pushed not to think that's a race thing, mate. I know people go, "Oh no, she's a very different person," but it's a bit too much. There's a bit too much of a coincidence here, and some of the language that's used is some of the subtle racist language that's used, to every day, like oh, someone's so exotic. Or they bring such a fiery. So it's just her nature. And you think, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be saying this if she was a different colour.
Yeah, definitely. There is that horrible closet sort of racist look. Yeah,
but then what? I mean, dude, because I was listening to the radio today, and you listen to the way that some members of the public are responding to things that they've said in this interview. And she said she's had suicidal thoughts. She's been in that dark of a place, and a good handful of people come on the radio to say, "Oh, she can't have been that suicidal."
What does that even mean?
Yeah. Oh no, she was just having a down time. Dude. In one case, the presenter on the radio was saying, "Oh no, she was just a bit upset for a while." I think what a fucking unhealthy way to immediately deal with someone who's opening up and saying, "I actually felt like killing myself." You go, "Yeah, but did you? Did you really?"
That is awful, isn't it?
It's the classic responses that you hear with things like domestic violence as well. Oh, well, why didn't she say anything? Why did she stay with it?
Exactly.
Why did she stick around? And you think, you arseholes don't know anything about the way people work.
No.
Sorry, mate. I've only just realised how angry I am about this, because it's
fair enough.
All you have to do, like the very base line, when someone says, "Oh, you know what? I felt like I was really bullied." You know, they wanted me to do a lot of things. They didn't understand that we wanted to have a life that was separate to what they wanted. Fine. Whether you disagree with it or not, it's not hard to go, oh, that's really awful. That sounds awful. Even if you're not going to try and help, even if you're not going to try and address the situation, whatever, if you're, you know, whatever, it's not hard to just go, oh, yeah, that does suck. But mate, it's a special kind of person whose first response is, yeah, but did you though?
Yeah. And the problem is people that say that have never been in anywhere close to a situation like that themselves.
No.
So it's so easy to brush off. And I bet a lot of people probably think, well, they're so, you know, fabulously wealthy. How on earth could they be depressed?
Yeah.
You know, how on earth could they be, a life of plenty? How could they possibly be upset?
Yeah.
And it's like, they're two very different things.
And I mean, I think I've said my views on the royal family on the podcast before, but I don't mind them. You know, I know no one is above doing bad things. So I don't mean, you know, there are certain members of the royal family who are arseholes, it would appear. But as a whole idea, I don't really care, because I think they tend to play the hand that they've been dealt with grace. You know, they raise money for charity. You know, they speak about important topics. Fine, okay, fine. But I do not understand the way the people in this country almost feel like they owe the royal family something, like they owe them deference. So when they're accused of bullying, you get people go, oh, well, that can't be true. What? Why?
Yeah, why not?
Why are you standing up for these people that you don't know?
Yeah.
Again, the anger's coming out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a documentary you should watch called The Crown.
Yeah. I mean, there's some kind of gross things though I don't like about it. I.e., the whole Prince Andrew thing is, you know, bloody terrible, and he should be put in prison. But he's obviously being guarded by some sort of royal protection because they don't want to drag their name through the mud or something like that. And like, I'm sure sorry, someone's bloody calling me. Go away.
Oh, mate, no, wait, put them on.
Put them on. You're live on the show.
Hello, you called in.
What's your opinion on the royals?
It's B-Dog on the hitch.
Yeah. B-Dog. The things like that I think are disgusting, and like I feel like they should have the maybe I don't know. Maybe they can't reveal what he's done because it would destroy the entire royal family, and that in the long run would be more detrimental than revealing what he's done. Who knows? But I feel like they should be like, nope, he's done this, he's in prison, we're disgusted, humiliated, what an awful thing for this family, let's move on.
No one's above the law. Yeah.
No one's above the law, exactly.
Dude,
but
some
people are.
It's the members of the British public saying, oh, they're being so mean to the royal family, as if it's going to affect the wider royal family in any way, you know, at all.
It's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. More interesting times that give us amazing faith in humanity for our for our countrymen. You know.
I hope it's like, you know, I would like the idea that this interview or whatever sets it free a bit more, and like royal family goes out and says, you know what, we did treat them badly. I haven't watched the interview yet, so I don't know. But, you know, I hope that there's a good resolution, as opposed to like, we disagree on these points, or they got that wrong or whatever, because it's not good for anybody, you know, making people choose sides. And, you know, the Queen must be gutted to lose a grandson like that and all that sort of thing. It won't be easy for anybody in the palace. No one will like that. Yeah. And for any family, you know, just generally any family. It's horrible. Yeah. But this is the thing. Sorry, mate, not to drag this out talking about this, but that's the other thing I don't understand, is that the initial assumption is that therefore they must be knobheads. Yeah, exactly. Instead of going, oh, therefore this must really suck for everyone, they go, no, it must be a lie. They must be doing it maliciously. Exactly. That's the thing, and like, it's annoying. Yeah, again, we'll move on. But if someone has, like we said, all you know, comes from a place of plenty where they've got everything, then something must be really, really wrong for them to break out from it. Yeah, at least realise that. Yeah. It's fun. Oh, dude, it's weird. Sorry, not to carry. I know we're trying to get out of this, but just to drag us screaming back into talking about this, just at least a little bit longer. Just for a second. I was listening to an interview with Noah Yuval Harari, or is it? Right. Yes.
Yeah, the guy who wrote *Sapiens*.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I've butchered his name, and I apologise of how, because I really like this guy. And he was saying that in this interview, he was saying it's interesting because you have the leaders of the most powerful countries in the world. You have people who lead, say, a large business, and you have people who lead a family, say. Because all of them worry the same amount.
Yeah.
You worry as much as you are humanly capable of worrying, and that's the same for everyone. Like presidents will go to sleep worrying as much as mums and dads worrying how they're going to put food on the table. So you have this human capacity for worry, and I do feel like whatever situation you're born into, it's not fair to say, oh, well, you're born into a much better situation than this person, because I get that, and I get that on the grand scale of things, some people are born into much more privileged lifestyles than others. I get that. But to say that someone doesn't worry about their life, or someone doesn't feel sad about their life, or to feel angry about their life, or like they're trapped in a certain certain situation.
To feel safe.
Yeah, to think that just because you're experiencing those emotions in a different part of the scale than someone else, if you like, is wrong. I mean, I don't like it, Tom. I don't like it.
I don't like it one bit.
Should we really talk about someone else?
Let's talk about something else.
So what do you want to talk about? Because we've each got an experience to talk about, and I don't think I know what yours is, and I don't know if you know what mine is. So
I think you should go first because yours sounds more exciting.
Right. I'm going to tell you all about Ben's scariest bedtime experience I've ever experienced, right? And you know what?
It wasn't a scary book. It was a spooky film.
I'll just keep the lights on for a little while longer. You know what? I got stung by a wasp in bed.
Oh, God.
Now, for longevity's sake, we're recording this in March. And so this happened to me in February. This happened to me maybe about a week or so ago. So the colder months in the UK, in winter, arguably. And now, now this is going to skirt with just being a personal anecdote that is the kind of thing you'd spend 2 minutes telling someone in the pub and move on. But now that we've got this wider audience, I want to educate people on the risks of wasps in the house during the winter, right? So I'll set the scene for you. Okay, it was a dark night. And I had laid in bed, ready to go to sleep, and I was lying there with my wife. And, not spoilers, we're in the same bed, and I think she was doing some Scrabble. That was it. We were looking at some Scrabble game on her phone, and I felt something just move. So dude, we're ready for bed. We're winding down, and I felt something move on the inside of my wrist. And now the next things that happened, I'm not really sure of exactly the order that these happened in, because your reflexes kick in and kind of you move before you know you're moving. But I looked at my wrist before my visual system couldn't register what it was I was looking at through terror, right? So I saw like it was some kind. I knew it was like an insect of some, like a dark line body shape,
Sure.
I swatted it with the back of my hand, gallantly, I'll point out, over Claire, onto the other side of the bed.
Nice.
As I did, I felt the whole thing clench, like grip me, and start, well, obviously it turns out stinging, going for it. I was like, dude, I've never sworn so much at that time of night. So I saw this thing go fly, and I knew it had wings. It had that clatter of like, this thing is a big thing with wings. Got up, gripping my arm. Like, I hope I'm painting a sufficiently interesting picture for people, right, to be following along with this. I'm gripping my arm, screaming, hopped out of bed, going, like, we need to get out of bed right now, because I don't know that I killed it, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know where it is, and I don't know whether it's going to do it again. So we were shuffling the sheets, like going through the inspection of bits of the bed one by one. Where did it go? It's not on the floor, can't see it. Checking the pillows, checking inside the pillows. I was like, oh God, what if there's another one? What if there's more of them? I should point out how fresh this is at this point in my mind, in that I just felt something move on my leg and freaked out in exactly the same way. Just even bringing this to mind. So we went through, we shook off the duvets, and while we're doing this, I felt something move on the top of my foot. So this bastard had crawled under the bed, back to my side, crawled up onto my foot. I looked down. It didn't sting me again, but I kind of, this time I registered that it had a bit of orange on it. I thought it was maybe one of those bees with an orange arse, you know, the ones that have the solid orange. So I kind of flicked it off with my foot, you know, jittered it off. Then saw it on the floor. I saw this huge wasp, man. I mean, I'm not going to be that guy who's like, oh, you'll never guess how big it was. It was just a big wasp. All right, I'm just going to say,
you will not guess how big it was.
I'll let your imagination fill in the blanks on this one. But it was. Think how big it is. It's bigger than that. All right. And then I think I might have talked to you on the podcast before about our electric racket for dealing with unwanted flying insects. Suffice to say, the wasp didn't last long. Once we'd seen it and saw it crawling around on the floor, it didn't last very long after that.
Did you get the gun?
No.
The racket?
I got the racket. And cooked it. We barbecued the wasp there and then. Now,
justice.
What's almost scariest about this is that I thought you got time off from wasps. You know,
what, time off work?
Just time off in the year. Where you don't have to worry about them. Time off,
time off work for a wasp thing.
I see. I wish. Yeah. Why are you off? I got stung again, boss. No, dude. I legitimately thought that you'd get some months where you wouldn't have to worry about the danger of being stung by a wasp, especially winter, right? So it turns out. So we read up on this, and this is the bit that I can inform people about. Is apparently this is relatively common. Sweet dreams. Where you'll get it's only the queens survive into the colder months. All the rest of the drone wasps and what have you die off.
Right.
So if you're going to find one, it's going to be a big one. It's probably going to be a mean one. Around this time of year, they sometimes get confused if the house gets warm enough, and they think, oh, it must be time to get up. You know, time to go about my hellish business in the British countryside. But so it must have been a queen. I don't really feel guilty about disposing of it, to be honest, because
I wouldn't, especially if it had stung me.
Yeah, it must happen sometimes. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who goes out of his way going off after wasps out in the wild, as it were. But if you come into my house to sting me, it's not going to go well. It's in my bed,
marriage bed.
In my bed, dude. I almost had light PTSD after this, because you'd think the logical bit of your brain would go, well, look, okay, it's a queen wasp, it's fine, there's not going to be another one, and the chances of it happening again to me are vanishingly rare. But you know what? You know how long I spent checking that bed to get back in it, both that night, the night after. It was in my mind the night after that. Like I say, even feeling stuff on my legs now makes me think, shit, it's another bloody wasp.
Did you go to sleep, but you could just hear the drone?
Tom, I haven't slept since. I don't remember what sleep is.
That is awful. That does sound scary as well. I'd hate that.
It was, it was the unknown. It was the fact that it came completely out of the blue. You feel like you should be safe. You should be safe in bed, man.
And what else comes to question is, if a wasp can get in, what else can get in?
Oh, what is wrong with you, man? Why are you doing this to me?
If a wasp can get in some sort of smallish hole in the corner of your room, then what's to stop a false widow? Or worse.
Dude, you know what else? There's another variable that could have been worse here, which is, in a way, if it's going to sting me, I'm kind of glad it stung me on the wrist, because I'll tell you what, mate, when I go to bed, there are a lot of other exposed bits of flesh that it could have been crawling around that I could have absentmindedly swatted to try and get something off.
Yeah.
That could have gone a lot worse.
Awful.
So man, I hope that lives up to the title of scariest bedtime experience ever, because it really was. It really was.
And it's not like a dream where it wasn't real.
It was real.
It was a real thing. That's horrible.
Yeah, so like I say, I hope everyone sleeps peacefully tonight, knowing that wasps could be in your bedroom. Anyway, ta-da! I'll take a bow on that story. I want to know if your experience lives up to the worst wasp experience.
Okay, so to carry on with the theme of bad experiences, Ben had the worst bed night ever. Bedtime.
Bed night.
Worst beddy buys, beddy sleepy bye times. I'll explain this a little bit, because it's not as extreme or as epic as yours, I guess, but no, it's not. So the last video I put out, we're bringing things back to boat review stuff because
that's
God, what we do. Get over it. The last video I put up was like a day in the life sort of video, how I used the iPad as a day in the life. A very kind of different style to video that I've done before. And what I will say is filming yourself while you're genuinely working, because on that day I was working, is an absolute minefield. I hated it. I really, really hated it. And like,
sure. Is that because you had to do some actual work? The boss is back.
Too. Yeah, that too. I'm being filmed, so make sure like I'm doing something. But like, any person that films videos, like you like to set up a shot, you make sure it looks nice, and like, have I got everything out of the background, and like, is it in focus, and all that sort of stuff. And you don't really have a lot of time to do that if you're actually working. It's kind of like, so I'll set the camera up and go because I've got work to do. And so that experience was painful enough, just like trying to, be relatively obvious in what I'm doing and all that sort of thing. But like, then the second thing is you have to make sure you're not exposing anything. So I couldn't show any real work on my screens because client, it's not fair to show off a client's work.
And so I suppose you need to be careful with camera shots, camera angles, from...
Careful with it. Yeah, I had to cover up everybody's name, which is why in some iPad shots you'll see like one app covering another, so it doesn't look like that sort of thing. So all that stuff I had to think about while I was working was just like, not frustrating, it was just difficult to get it right, to like make sure. And like I had quite a few shots, I was like, I can't use that. Even if I blurred that out, it would be obvious what it is and that sort of stuff. So I just had to like make up a load of
that Pornhub logo, mate. That Pornhub logo. Just even you can blur as much as you want, and people know.
But the epitome of when it really kind of frustrated me is I had this kind of one of the reasons this video idea came around is because I got this like little motorized slider. It's not very long. It's about 30 centimeters, and it's like controlled by app. Really useful. I can just set up my camera somewhere, put it on the slider, and press go on my phone, and it will like pan to and fro. And I thought, it'd be cool to use that in the kitchen because there's loads of stuff in the to show off a wider workspace and that sort of thing. But obviously if I'm filming myself, I can't check I'm in focus and there's no one there to make sure I'm in focus. Like sometimes I'll ask Callie, like, you just check I'm in focus before I hit film. And so I was filming myself on the kitchen table, and that, I don't know if you've noticed, but that's the only shot, pretty much the only couple shots in the thing that are just, the focus is completely gone. It's just not even close.
Sure.
And like, I tweeted, I was like, because Pocky wouldn't leave me alone either, which is usually fine on a work day, don't mind it. Yeah. But when I'm trying to film and work and he's like jumping on the table, I was like, mate, you're going to have to go. But like, that's why I tweeted like autofocus thief, because every time I set it up ready to go, I have to put it on autofocus and it would just find him and just track him. So I think I put that shot in because I worked so hard to get it. But I think it's like the 8th attempt or something to get it right. And bear in mind, like my normal work is going extra slow, and I felt bad. I was like, I need to actually do some work, otherwise I'm not going to get it. So it was just a real nightmare to film, and I didn't enjoy the filming process at all. And usually when I'm filming, I usually really enjoy it. That's the thing I like the most, like filming and like thinking of how it's going to go together. But that one, I was like, someone put me out because this sucks.
So I mean, just not to get too sidetracked here, but when you say that's your favourite part, is that is the actual filming bit better than the compositing and editing bit, do you think?
Yeah, I would say I'm better at filming than I am editing. Sam will testify to this, but I'm not a great editor. I never have been. Hopefully getting there, but I'm quite slow as well, and like it's just a bit. I'm not like, I have an idea of where I want shots to go and all that sort of thing, but I really do wing it. I don't like plan ahead that well. And like I said in that video, my work is really erratic. My schedule is bloody erratic for someone that makes videos. Like if it turns like 8 o'clock, I'm like, I might do an hour of editing while like Kelly watches something, even though I've had all day to like think about it and do it. Yeah. And I'll like write a quarter of a script one day, 2 words another, then the rest in one evening. Like it doesn't, I've got no tap that goes on and off. It just seems to come on when it likes.
Dude, not to get sidetracked even further, but I think that's actually worth talking about a little bit more, because I find that really difficult to say, to just jump on, say, a free hour and say, all right, I'm gonna. Okay, so if I take the example of recording music, if I've got an idea for a song and I think, because this is relevant because I have I'm in this position at the minute where I'm sort of got a couple of first ideas or few for a couple of songs. So all I need to do is sit down and just record them in,
Yeah.
And in my mind, I've built this up that's going to take a lot of setup, when the opposite is completely true, where I've deliberately made my setup so I can just jump in, plug a guitar in, and I'm practically ready to go.
Yeah.
But I still find it difficult to go, if it's, to look at my time and go, I've got an hour. I'll go, well, that's not really, I can't settle into work. I can't settle into doing it then.
I am the opposite. I have like these bursts of like, even if it's half an hour, like I'll sit and get a lot done and then it will just turn off. And it's it really is all over the place, which is why, and I mentioned this in the videos, like why I work on so many cross-platform apps is because if I have an idea for something I want to say in a script, but it's just that one thing, even if it's like 2 lines long, I'll just write it down on my phone and then it's on my PC or it's on my Mac or anything like that. Or like if I thought of a little intro to the video, like, that piece of music will work well. If I'm like downstairs browsing music on my laptop, but that bit works well, I'll go upstairs 20 minutes, plug it into the front, do the intro, cut it to the intro beat, and then I'll go back downstairs again. Like it's a really erratic, all over the place, and I don't think it's massively productive either. But if I usually spend like a whole day, like tomorrow for instance, I've got a whole day to do boat review stuff. Sure. I'll like work for an hour, do nothing for half an hour, work for an hour, go to Sainsbury's, like post some croaky stuff or whatever, and then come back, maybe have an hour lunch, and then like half an hour work, half an hour browse YouTube. It is all over the place, and then film finally at about like 2 or 3 o'clock to actually film what I need to film.
To actually sit down to it, sure.
Yeah, I wish I had like I think my, not to sound like all mysterious, but I think my creativity just comes and goes, and like when it comes, I'm like, do it now.
Well, yeah.
And if I don't capitalize on it, it'll disappear.
Oh, but man, that's quite a mature thing to realise about yourself, though, isn't it? To kind of to see that and to make use of it. Yeah, sure. but no, man, because you could be flailing in the dark. It could be like, why do I never get anything done? At least you've got the kind of wherewithal and the self-awareness to say, right, I'm in the mood. Definitely. Let's get down to it.
Definitely. I mean, a good example is I wrote yesterday. I wrote about we'd been watching Family Guy to about 10:30 or something.
Sure.
And then I played some Call of Duty with Sam and that, and then I thought it was about 11:10. I was like, actually, I should say this. So I got my laptop out and wrote for about 15 minutes, and that was it. And then put it down, and it's like it's less than a paragraph, but I'll definitely keep it. I looked at it against there. It's like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's the secret as well. Is like, what do they call it? Greasing the groove. Like if you're doing even just simple things over and over again, while you're in the mood for it, it gradually builds over time. Maybe.
But yeah, I wish I knew I had some sort of way to bottle it all up and spend it in those 5 hours, but I just don't.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, to roll it back to where we were, that's why it was just a bit shit. And the worst and the best part is the feedback on that video has been like some of the best I've ever had. People absolutely loved it. I've had pretty much every single comment has been like, this was great, more of this please, more of this style of content. We absolutely loved it.
Oh, that's good then, man. I mean, that's at least something's come out of it,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I know you get good feedback anyway. Sorry, I mean that to sound patronising.
No, not at all.
So, what do you think? Are we going to get the second day in the life?
Well, I was talking to someone about this. I was just saying, like, how I, even though that is a pretty regular day, I did have to embellish a few things because usually I don't go downstairs middle of the day. I'm sorry, at this point I'm assuming you've seen it. I don't know if you have.
Yeah.
But, I don't usually go downstairs like to continue working. Well, no, I have done in the past, but like it's a rare occurrence. But I thought if I just say I came back and finished up here all day, I was like, that's a pretty dull video. If I don't move around at least to show off a different style of working, because I do usually just work in this office all day. Yeah. And what else can I show? I've already shown myself working here. So I kind of, I said I'll go downstairs. And in fairness, I don't say I do it all the time. I just said if I get into a funk in the office, which has occasionally happened. It's
more like a highlight reel of your best possible days. Like if best case scenarios, I'll do this one day, this another day.
Yeah. The other thing that was awkward, I'm going to shut up about this now. The other thing that was awkward is actually filming myself walking around. There's a couple shots of me walking around.
Yeah.
one in Sainsbury's, one like walking back from Sainsbury's. And actually, I don't know how people vlog because I don't think I could do it. It's so awkward. I'm not even saying anything. I'm just like filming myself walking forward.
Sure.
And it's like, oh my God, I feel so like such a horrible hipster twat. And I hated it. But
dude, you just got to throw in a few. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Bite Review, doing the shopping. Here I am in the donut aisle.
Know, which one should I get?
Bite Review baked beans for my Bite Review belly.
But yeah, I think that better wraps it up. That was why my filming experience was a bit poo.
I'm sorry, man. All I'm picturing now is like, leave a comment on which brand of baked beans you think I should buy, or you think I'm going to buy. See if you're right by the end of the video.
They are the best. Awful.
Oh, man. Beans. I'm going to link to some of my other videos on yogurt taste tests.
Bean quality test. That is linked in the description below.
Bean on my third channel, Bean Review.
Oh, imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, mate. Well, no, dude. I'm sorry that you had I'm sorry that it was such a bloody ball ache for you, mate. You know, with your
right.
privileged YouTuber lifestyle.
Yeah. Poor me.
Poor old Tom.
Boo-hoo. Yeah. I mean, you know, on the flip side, I learnt a lot. So there you go.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good.
There's always got that.
Speaking of Bite Review success, have you got any other interesting news as far as that goes?
Well, I haven't. To be fair, I haven't been told I can't talk about it, but maybe just don't put it on. maybe just don't put it on like the little teaser.
Oh yeah, I won't put it on the description. Oh yeah, I won't post it. Oh yeah.
But a little known channel on the UK over here, Channel 5.
I've heard of it.
Well known after a BBC 1, 2, Channel 3, Channel 4, and Channel 5. Channel 5's like the last channel in it.
It's the last terrestrial channel, or it's the last old school terrestrial channel.
It's the last old school channel. Yeah. Anyway,
out of interest, I'm going to shamelessly derail this. Do you remember that being launched?
What, Channel 5?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you see, because I don't know what are we? I'm a couple of years. I'm not super old, but I'm a couple of years older. Maybe it's just that slight age difference. But I remember them launching it. I remember launch day. Yeah, I forget because they had
launch day.
What did they have? They had like they picked up some shows. Obviously, this is how much it's stuck in my mind. But I remember them launching Channel 5. Yeah, and if you tuned into it for like the week before, it was like a countdown to when Channel 5 is going to go live.
I definitely don't remember that.
I'm going to okay. Channel 5.
When did Channel 5 come out?
Schedule. Or was it 30th of March 1997?
Wow. Yeah, I would have been 7 then when it came out, but I don't remember.
It was Easter Sunday.
I can't imagine my attention was drawn to Channel 5 coming out when I was 7.
Yeah. No. Oh, it's the Spice Girls. Had a So this obviously this is going to be completely interesting for everyone. Was it? Yeah, This Is 5 was Family Affairs, Two Little Boys, Hospital. I mean, they had the same kind of quality programming as they still do now. Yeah. Sorry. Right. Let's wind this back in because I'm just taking a little trip down memory lane now.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway,
please continue.
Just to confirm, I do like Channel 5.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Start slagging it off before I've done anything. Not at all. Anyway, it's just got an email out of the blue, and it was just a name. I obviously won't say the name. It's just a name saying, "Hey, I work for this, and we are working with Channel 5 to produce a show." And they said, "Can we've seen your channel? Can we use a clip of your pegboard, this one here that I'm pointing at, to include
the Bite Review pegboard?
Yeah, to include in a DIY sort of show that's coming out in April." And I was like,
okay.
I was just like, what on earth? Like, how weird. And they linked the dedicated video I've made on that, which is like, it's not a massively popular video. It's like 24,000 views, which is still great, but not like a big, not one that's going to rise to the top of like when you search for that sort of thing.
Sure.
If you know what I mean? Like it would be in there somewhere. And I was like, how weird. Yeah, sure. That sounds great. However, would you like to use this footage, which is from my setup video, which is much better footage of it?
Please use this footage.
Yeah, please. I was like, I was a bit embarrassed by that last video. I was like, if you're going to put it on TV, at least put on my best stuff. So I sent another video back. I was like, use this if you want to, that it's got better things. And they're like, oh yeah, that does look very slick. We'll use that instead. But mate, that is the long and to all of it. The short and all of it is that they're going to use it. I've okayed it.
That's crazy. That's so cool, man.
It will be featured on TV. And the first thing I said is, it's not a DIY gone wrong sort of show, is it? Could you imagine? Great.
Look at this goon. Look at this goon with his pegboard.
Idiot. And he wasted his time making a video on it. Everyone point and laugh. yeah. No, it's not one of those shows they have confirmed.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, it'll be on terrestrial TV. Who'd have thunk it?
Dude, well,
Your
I mean,
boy.
If you ever find out when, or, when and where it's coming out, then say, I'm sure we can push
around the TV. Tell your friends, Tom's going to be on TV.
No, look, there he is. No, rewind it. There he is again.
Rewind it, make sure you tape it.
So not like here's Tom, he runs the YouTube channel, and so it's literally they just wanted to almost like just footage of your pegboard.
I did ask, because like what sort of realm would it be used in? In what sort of sense? And they just said we want to show a clip of how you can make use of things like pegboards in small spaces to like make them more effective.
Sure.
So I don't know whether it's going to be like literally an outright like clip while they talk over it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be like that, or if they're going to like say, on YouTube, people have made use of said clip, and it might just be like 1 second. If it is,
sure,
fine.
Yeah.
If it's a slightly longer feature, I think I talk about the pegboard for like over a minute, so there's plenty of footage to pick from.
Nice.
So yeah, it'd be cool.
I mean,
we'll see.
Because also, if they are using a longer segment, that's quite an easy show to make.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool, like because you think you just collect like a magazine of YouTube was like a YouTube collection. Okay, oh mate, I'm stoked for you, dude. I know we laugh, but that's really cool. Like
it's a really surprising little email to get. I was like, no way. Never
it's another kind of
that
small
would be a thing.
Yeah, another good thing. Oh man, well, we could talk about success all day long, but we need to talk about some other stuff as well. Enough about you, Tom. Enough about you. We should touch briefly. I don't know. It might not even be briefly, but I know we've talked about Wandavision before.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like it's worth just if we have. I don't even know if we have any more, like you said, meat to gnaw off that bone.
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
But now that Wandavision is finished, do you have any like thoughts? Are you pleased with how it wrapped up? Are you happy with how it wrapped up?
I think we should throw the spoiler warning just quickly. If you haven't seen it, maybe skip over this part. But
so we'll give you a few more seconds just in case you're in the car or in case you're walking to work and you're fumbling for your earbuds. Yeah,
Randy,
turn them off.
The button to your left, mate.
Yeah, just hit pause. Come back to it later.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Yeah, mate, I really enjoyed as a whole. Loved the series. Thought it was fantastic. Really, really enjoyed it. Like such a good show that Marvel can adapt from movies to TV to make something completely unexpected and still wonderful. I really loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Me and Callie enjoyed it thoroughly. I guess the only thing I thought, if we're going to throw criticism, is there was teased to be a big reveal, like big cameo.
Yeah,
you're gonna love it. Sure. You guys are gonna love it. And I was like, here comes Doctor Strange. I can feel it. It's coming out of the woodworks, and it doesn't. And I was gutted. I was
because this was Paul Bettany, wasn't it? This was Paul Bettany went, it's an actor I've really wanted to work with for a long time. Yeah. And it's like, me.
Yeah,
I'm not acting against myself. So, because didn't one of the showrunners say something like, Paul Bettany's dug himself this hole, he can dig himself back out of it?
Yeah. They must have known back then, or obviously they did, but like it was great. That's a funny thing to do to yourself as well.
Yeah. I mean, I know
he's great.
I know we feel differently about this. I know you definitely preferred for it to come out as one big block. I didn't mind it coming out week by week because I think, I guess the only downside is that you do get rampant speculation week to week, like with The Boys as well. Anything like that, or anything that's released episodically, you get all these people saying, I think this is going to happen. And now we're in the age of the internet, the internet proper. Like it's not like when we had weekly TV and a bit of internet. Now everything is online. Everyone's talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
So the theories kind of grow and grow and grow. And then, like I was talking to another friend about this, saying it's like when you're expecting, for some reason, when you're a kid and you're thinking you're going to get a really big present for Christmas, and then instead you just get a pretty good present for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, and even though you'd be completely delighted with what you've been given, it's not quite what you had imagined.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the fans had shot themselves in the foot a little bit with that.
Yeah. What I will say is, like, I get why they did the weekly thing. Like, the amount of, like, extra media speculation, and let's face it, the amount of extra money they will get by driving the hype. Like, the hype train is running full
100%.
steam ahead every week. All this content coming out, more eyes on it, more people talking about it, more subscriptions to Disney Plus. Totally get it. You know, like when Stranger Things comes out, people block it in a day. There's there's no YouTube people talking about this, talking about the Easter eggs. Because me and Callie watched every time there's like Screen Crush video of like 10 Easter eggs you missed.
Yeah,
and we'd watch that religiously. I've never watched that sort of thing before.
Sure,
it's like, right, episode's over, get the Screen Crush video on, let's see what we missed.
Sorry, mate, for WandaVision. Yes, yeah, dude. And that's the thing. You get multiple videos like that now. Whereas when things like Stranger Things come out, you get the one half-an-hour video going, here's the Easter eggs that you might have missed in Stranger Things Series 2. So, they did 100%.
So I get it. And in fairness, you know, maybe that is the right way to do that sort of thing. I just hated it when it leaves you on that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And it's like, go wait a whole week. It's like, I know I've grown up in a time where that is normal to wait a week for the next episode.
Sure.
But I bet for a lot of, like, I don't know, people that are 15, 16, 17, that must be like, what? Wait a week?
Yeah.
What?
Why can't I watch it now?
Yeah, definitely. But fair enough. I also thought when she became the full-on Scarlet Witch, I don't really comment on costumes or anything, but I thought she looked bloody great.
It was really good. And you know what?
Cool.
I have a bit of a bugbear with shows or films like this, or where it's like not necessarily superhero stuff, but where people become a version of a character that you're familiar with. You know, like I'm blanking on any other examples now, but I just think sometimes it can be handled really cheesily, and it's really contrived. But this actually felt normal. It wasn't just like a flash, here you are. You know, now I'm become this character.
It felt earned, I think.
It felt
she
organic.
definitely got there herself, as opposed to like, here's your powers.
Yeah,
ding, and now you are this.
Are you
definitely seemed to be the growth.
In terms of storyline, are you happy with how it wrapped everything together? Because I was worried going into the last episode that there were still lots of threads that were a lot of loose ends. Yeah. What do you think?
I thought it was great. I really, 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 really enjoyed Agatha. Just her character was really cool. Really well done. Even her little like intro when it was revealed she'd been bad all along. It's just so good, and there's so many cool references to like the Wizard of Oz with the boots, the car, like things like that. I really loved that.
So campy and over the top, and
it's played as pitch perfect. That character, the actress choice. They couldn't have picked anyone better for that. I really loved it. I think it was left in an interesting place. I guess the only thing I was slightly disappointed was that Silver Vision just flew away. I was a bit like,
I know, yeah. I wonder whether that was because they don't really know what they're going to do with him yet.
Yeah, maybe.
It's just kind of we need a because they've kind of, it's like they've set themselves up with the pieces to bring the character of Vision fully back. Yeah. But maybe they just gone, he's out there, don't worry about it. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. I was half expecting them, because when they were fighting, they kept kind of like merging through each other.
Sure,
and I was like, they're going to merge together, and he's become Vision again, and that's how he gets out.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of, in a way, I'm glad they didn't, because her saying goodbye to him at the end was like really impactful, and really like, oh bloody hell, that's awful. He's gone.
See, I want to
be coming back.
I want to say something quite serious about that, but also, White Vision looked a lot like the robot from the last Bill and Ted movie. So I'm just saying I couldn't unsee it as soon as I started seeing it. But in terms
they must get their ideas from somewhere. I'm just pointing it out.
In terms of her, like when you talk about her touching send off, dude, I thought that was what was nice about the show as a whole, is that I mean, I know we had the big laser fights at the end and the big, zap, 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 I'm going to fly around and shoot you battle at the end, which is just standard. But it was nice that a lot of the show seemed to be more about their relationship and how she was just grieving, I guess, without getting too psychological about it.
It was good because I think in Avengers Infinity War, their relationship doesn't hit that hard because you don't really know much about them. And I guess especially in Infinity War, Vision just gets pretty beat up pretty quick. He doesn't do much.
Sure.
He gets pretty whacked straight away, off the top.
If anything, mate, I'll be honest, up until WandaVision, I never really bought their relationship. It just seemed odd to me. Like it seemed to come out of nowhere and then, oh yeah, we're together now. And it was never, I think with the fact of one, I'm not being robotist here, but with one of them being a synthezoid, you need, I think you need a bit more explanation as to why they fell in love almost. Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it felt that needed to be more earned, I thought, in the first place.
WandaVision made me care about Vision as a character. I kind of already cared about Wanda a little bit more because she's got a bit more of a backstory, I guess, and has lost her brother and all that sort of stuff. But I definitely like Vision a lot more now. He's a cool character.
Yeah. I'm interested for two things though, because this is going to lead into the second Doctor Strange film. Into Multiverse of Madness, which I'm excited about. I'm excited to see how she fits into that. And also, I'm excited to see Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, which is soon, isn't it? Really soon.
Yeah, it's really good because I think this week is the making of WandaVision. Yeah, and then and then we're moving on the week after that. I think
be really cool to be really geeky and to quote some of the videos I've seen. Yeah, the thing that I'm most interested about with the Doctor Strange 2, because Wanda's in that, is this is from the videos I've watched. Wanda is considered a Nexus being, so she doesn't change from multiverse reality to reality. She is the same in each one. She can't be changed. So
very
that could be why Doctor Strange needs her for whatever happens.
That's very interesting.
The Scarlet Witch cannot, if she goes to one reality, she will be the Scarlet Witch in that reality, the same everywhere. Whereas there's loads of different versions of Spider-Man, loads of different versions of, all these other people.
Well, and the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm quite excited about it. Yeah, it's nice. I know we talked about in the same sort of context on the Weezer album when we talked about that a couple of shows ago. It's nice to feel excited about pop culture, because it doesn't happen often. But when you can feel that little spark of I'm actually genuinely interested in seeing where this is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. Matt, I've said this to a few friends before, but I really do think Marvel, Endgame, Avengers, all that sort of stuff, that is our Star Wars.
Sure.
That's our version of the hype, the magic, of Star Wars from the 70s and early 80s. I feel like that's our version of it anyway.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Oh, dude! Well, happy days. Like I said, I didn't want to dwell on WandaVision too much, because we'd already talked about it to a certain extent. But I'm happy that it wrapped up as well as it did.
Yeah,
and I hope Marvel learns what they need to learn from this, and just make some more good TV would be nice.
Definitely, mate. I'm absolutely certain that Falcon and Winter Soldier would be great, but I am more concerned about that because WandaVision took such a crazy concept and really ran with it. It was a bit weird. It was a bit all over the place in terms of episode to episode was very different, very cool, very interesting. This one looks a lot more grounded, a lot more gritty, a lot more normal, I guess. But I have full confidence it'll be great because the Captain America films, which are a bit more normal, as normal as they can be, have been fantastic. The first one's not great, but second Captain America's fantastic. Winter Soldier, and Civil War was great too. So.
Fingers crossed, mate. Metal fingers crossed. Or feathery fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Do you have feathery
Very
fingers?
Very good, Ben.
Thank you. Mate, before we wrap up, I wanted to make mention of something else that I've been watching recently. I came about finding this in such a random way that it's not interesting. I'm not even going to go over it, just to leave you hanging there. But it's a series of documentaries on Netflix called Losers. And I don't know what year is it from. It's from 2019.
Right.
So it's not. I have.
So it's ancient.
So it's yeah. I mean, it's completely irrelevent now. Now in the age of the internet, it is pre-COVID. It is, dude, and it's really really good. So. It's a series of, what is this, eight episodes, 8 documentaries, and they're not too long. They're between about 25 and 35 minutes, I think is the longest one. Sure. And it's about people in sports. They all centre around sports of one form or another. It's about people who have had some kind of catastrophic failure, but then kind of have, and this varies from episode to episode, but almost have a redemption after that, or they find a new life, or they come back to success. And it's not always in the same arena or the same portion of their sport, or even the same sport that they failed in. But it's just about overcoming defeat. And it's interesting, you hear different people say across the episodes again and again that we're focused too much on victory in our society, when you learn so much more from your losses. And it's almost like, I guess the idea is that we don't talk about failure enough. And mate, it's just really, really good. If people are going to watch it, you don't have to watch them in any particular order. There's one about curling, which is absolutely brilliant. Because it's happened in the 80s. What happened in this happened. I was going to say it's set in the 80s, but it's not fictional. But it goes over this Canadian curling team who invented a new tactic, which eventually had to be ruled out of the game. You know, they had to make rules around it to stop it because it was so successful and boring. That the crowd started chanting "boring" through these curling matches.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's curling, but
how exciting does it get?
But suffice to say, it's one of these things where even if you're not interested in the sport that the documentary is about, you can be interested in it. There's one about football, soccer for our non-European listeners, about Torquay United, which is quite close to home for us, so it's quite fun like that. But it's about the last match of their, I think, 85-86 season. Right. And I'm not going to say anything about it. All I'd say is if you're vaguely interested and you think you might watch it, the episode's called The Jaws of Victory. Don't even read the description. Just watch it. All right, it's not long. If you get the inkling that you might be interested, just watch the episode. And again, if you're not familiar with what happened at the end of that series, that season. But dude, there's one about husky sledding in Alaska, in racing, the dog sledding, which is intense. There's one about golf, which is heartbreaking. There's one about figure skating, about a black figure skater and the racism that she kind of overcame, I guess. But also some of the failures that she, I don't know, failure seems a weird word to use for that one actually, but the position she put herself in as a response to some of the racism that she experienced. So I mean that's very interesting isn't the right word, but it's fascinating to watch. And all the rest of them as well. Yeah, dude. All I would say is if you're vaguely interested in sport, if you're vaguely interested in people, and if you fancy something that is just short and interesting, pick an episode. Man, just pick any of those episodes, and I think you'll be into it. It's called Losers. Mate, it's on Netflix.
It sounds good because like recently or past like 6 months, I've like started listening to or watching as well people that aren't related to what I do in terms of like, you know, content creation, but other things like other creative design things, other things like that. And like you learn so much from those people that are like cross-platform. Like, I've been watching lots of like this guy who talks about streaming on YouTube, like how, as in like game streaming on Twitch, but he makes YouTube videos about it. And they're so interesting. It's like I'm not going to stream at all. Like, you know, I've talked about it before, but I've gone right off the idea. But I'm still going to watch his videos because they're so interesting, and it does make a lot of sense to what you do. So that Losers thing sounds like it could be one of those. Like it's all cross, you know, pollination in terms of the advice, the all that sort of thing. So I'm all up for that sort of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I know I've talked about watching blacksmithing videos in the past. You know, I was going to say I'm never going to be a black. I've got limited experience of blacksmithing, but it's stuff like where it's like, dude, I'm not going to repeat what you said. You said it exactly right. Yes, I completely agree. Yeah,
it's good to learn from those sorts of things, definitely.
Yeah, mate. I think that's it. I think that is the show. I'll tell you what, mate. I know we talked about reviews last time. I'm going to read you a review that we had on iTunes. You ready?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, dude, I thought I'd just every now and again, if we get reviews, I might read them out, unless they talk about the way we look physically, or other rude,
which is why we chose the podcast, because it is a hearing medium,
and not video. It's audio only. We got a review from Big Papa O, who says enjoyed it, enjoying this, keeping up with about 2% of what you guys are talking about, but enjoying this. I could go along with that. Yeah,
that's fine.
Thanks very much, Big Papa O. We appreciate you.
Was that a 2, 3, 4, 5? I didn't
5
say
stars. 5 stars. I don't want to jinx it.
5 stars there.
I don't want to jinx this, but every single one of our reviews is 5 stars.
How many reviews have we had in total?
I can't see because I can only see certain platforms, so I don't know. But they're growing all the time. So yeah, if you've listened this far and you've enjoyed it, please leave us a review. I'm not going to beg. Don't make me beg.
Ben will read it out at the end of each.
So if you want to be noticed by the senpais of a middlingly successful podcast, then absolutely, by all means, if that sounds up your street, then leave us a review.
To use Randy's words, flailing in mediocrity.
Yes,
that is our podcast.
Mate, we should have an offshoot of a secondary podcast. No, we're getting distracted. Tom, where can people find you if they want to send you a message online?
It's at Bite Review everywhere. Leave a review on this podcast. Thank you. And Ben, where can they get you?
I am at benjuonlong.com would send you my way, I guess, if you want to see me and some other fluff. And we also have ITSBUP at gmail.com. I'm not going to keep promoting this because I really don't feel like people are going to email us. But I snagged it. I snagged ITSBUP at gmail.com to stop anyone else having it, just in case. Just in case.
Just in case. That is the initials of this podcast.
Yeah,
at
so
gmail.com.
We don't have to pay for it, like thousands of pounds for it further down the line when we've got, another 500 listeners. That'd be very nice. If you want to send us a message, please do. I don't feel like I want to set up a Twitter for the podcast, but I don't know.
Think we need to.
I don't feel like that would add anything to what people are getting out of this. Anyway,
just watch mine and Ben's tweets.
On that happy note, we'll say goodbye and we'll see you next time. If you've got any questions, if you've got any interesting things that you feel like we should be across, hey, send us a message about that. What do you think is interesting? Please. Please.
We need to read out something.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.